Hello everybody, welcome back to the internet. We're just going back to normal today, back to regular old stories. Starting with an entitled parent story called, Why Do You, a Health Professional, Not Want to Date My Son? Okay, so I'm currently studying towards becoming a nurse, and I've been working on a ward that sees all kinds of patients. But the most common person we get are young men, teens and 20s. I'm still quite young and vaguely attractive, so I occasionally get attention from clients who don't always keep it professional. But for the most part, everyone is chill. But we know entitled parents have no chill, so here we go. So the entitled son, was about 17, was in a PACU, which is Post-Anesthetic Care Unit, when I started my shift. I and another nurse went to retrieve him, but he was still very groggy and honestly a little too touchy-feely, but I put it down to him being half asleep and not being in his right mind. I come back later when he's fully awake and do obs. The whole time I know he's flirting with me, but I gently rebuff him and keep things professional. Until the very end. He says, "Hey, so I'm thinking, when I'm out of here, do you want to get coffee sometime?" I say, "Thanks, but no thanks. I'm here doing my job, and it's unprofessional to be involved with clients outside of their care." He seems to drop it with a little attitude, but I thought I got my point across. No more than 20 minutes later, the entitled mom storms up to the nurse's station demanding to see whoever had interacted with the son. I say, "Hi, is everything okay with your son? I can come with you to his room if you need to discuss his care." She says, "He just told me how rudely you have treated him and how you should be reported for neglectful care." So me, very taken back and honestly probably looking like a deer in the headlights, say, "I'm sorry?" She says, "How dare you tell my son he's ugly and doesn't have a chance in heck with you? You should have said yes on the spot because he is so out of your league. You're not even that pretty and you're fat, so I don't want him dating you anyway." I said, "Excuse me? I would never say anything like that. All I said was..." Then the nurse comes in and says, "Hey, what's going on?" The mom says, "This bimbo nurse was completely rude to my son, and I want her to apologize to him right now." She says, "I'm sure there is some miscommunication here. I can assign someone else to your son right now." So some more convo goes down where the nurse manages to convince the mom that her son was exaggerating a tad, and that I would have stayed within my professional boundaries. She grumbles a lot, but takes what she can get. For the rest of the stay, however, I got death stares from entitled mom, but nothing more than sheepish glances from entitled son because he knew he'd been called out on his BS. I just thank my lucky stars he never asked me for a bed bath. Yeah, I always have to wonder with attractive females doing pretty much any job that involves dealing with a lot of people, how annoying it can get just getting hit on constantly. Even sometimes I'm like out to dinner with my family, and my dad says like, "Hey, you should ask the server for her number." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm sure she hasn't already gotten asked that like a dozen times today. I'm sure she'd love that." Alright, and moving on to some tales from retail called Customer in Literal Tears Because I Cannot Describe a Vidalia Onion. So I work in a smaller chain grocery store in a small town. I was working my regular shift and always going pretty well until this older lady walked up. I was being pretty nice because I was in a good mood that day. So our exchange went something like this. I say, "Hey, how are you today?" She says, "Pretty bad actually." I say, "Oh no, what's the matter?" The lady proceeds to tell me about how the people in the meat department put stickers all over the packaging of hot dogs, and she could not tell what they were. The sticker was not that big, and no matter where it was placed. I apologized for it though, but she keeps telling me it's ridiculous and how the meat department could not tell her what they are, or something of that sort. So I asked her if she wants to speak to the manager about it, and she says, "No, it's fine." So I continue with the order. I ring up a bunch of Vidalia onions, and it was $1.68 per bunch. So she starts throwing a fit. She says, "These were supposed to be $1.48 per pound. There's no way it's $1.68 per bunch." I say, "No ma'am, these are a different kind of onions, and they rang up by the bunch." I point at the barcode. She says, "Well, I'm not paying that for those." At this point, I call the manager up and explain the situation to her because I couldn't go back and check the price on the onions. So she pulls out an ad paper and starts looking on there. She sees that they are not the right kind and walks back to the produce with the onions. While this is happening, a line is forming pretty well because I was the only register open. The lady is sighing, speaking under her breath at this time, but I just kinda toned it out. She says, "Hey, describe those onions to me." I say, She says, "The Vidalia onions." Me trying to remember what they look like. "Well, they're white and rounder." She's like, Do not describe them as round. They are bulb-shaped and have thicker grass hairs. Have you never seen a Vidalia onion before?" She starts tearing up. "Are you from around here?" I say, "Yeah." "Well, everyone here should know what they look like. Try Googling it or something. That's pathetic." At about this time, my manager comes back with a complete different onion. She says that these were the Vidalia, and the ones she picked up were Lil Bulbs, and was a white onion. She still gets those ones, and I finish up her order. The customer right after her goes, "Wait, what are Vidalia onions? I seriously have no idea, and I've lived here all my life." I honestly think it's kind of funny how crazy some people get at grocery stores. Like, if something's just a few cents more expensive than they were expecting, then they just, like, go really mad. Like, I mean, I understand some people are on a really tight budget and they can't afford to be spending more than they thought. But, like, one time I was at a grocery store, I was just walking down and I heard, like, these two old ladies walk past me. And, like, all I heard from them was, one of them was just like, "These are 47 cents more here than the other store. This is complete bullsh." I don't know why, I just thought that was so funny, just how mad they were over just such a small amount. Now we're on to some I Don't Work Here lady called I'm Not a Stripper. So my story begins several years ago when I was a waitress at Waffle House. It's not exactly easy, I don't work here but I don't work there kind of situation. So one morning after a night shift, I stopped at a gas station to get some gas before going home. Exhausted, and may I add, in full uniform and everything, hat and apron included. I go to pay for gas by pulling out my large wad of tips, mostly $1 bills. Out of nowhere, I hear this disgusted sound from the cashier, so I look up to meet her eyes. Here was the conversation. She says, "You should be ashamed of what you do." I'm sorry, what? "You should be ashamed of being a stripper." She was acting all holier than thou. I was like, wow, where did that come from? "You need to leave. I don't want trash in my store." I say, "Lady, I'm a waitress. I'm in the waffle batter covered uniform." She says, yeah, whatever. Just leave." So the manager, who was in the office right behind her with the door open, called for her to the office and closed the door. I was still in shock when this lady came flying out of the office, mad with her purse. She says, "Rotten hell, stripper." She yelled this at me before leaving the store. The manager comes out of the office and apologized for the woman's behavior, and said that she'd been warned about it before and fired her on the spot. He gave me a free basket of biscuits and some coffee for the trouble. I thanked him and paid for my gas. I was still in shock when I got home and told my mom what happened. This story got better a few days later when I'm in a dish pit washing dishes, when the same woman comes in to speak to the manager. She didn't see me till she had finished speaking with him. She looked me straight in the eye before turning red and rushing out the door. I asked what she wanted, and she said she wanted to know if we were hiring. I started laughing and explained to him that she was the woman from the gas station. Of course, I told my coworkers about it. She never came back. Wow, I guess that lady must have had a change of heart if she's already going to apply to be a stripper alongside with OP. I've never actually been to a Waffle House because there's none anywhere nearby where I live. But now that I hear that there's strippers there, that sounds like it's not the kind of place that I thought. Yeah, I think that whole strippers have $1 bill things meme is kind of old. It's like anytime you just pull out a big wad of cash and there's a whole bunch of ones, everyone's like, "Oh, are you a stripper?" Or, "Are you going to the strip club?" Yeah, they're $1 bills, shut up. Alright, this one's called Entitled Parent Uses My Mom as a Free Babysitter, then Beats Her Up at School for Making Fun of Me. So this happened when my fiance was in the first grade. Entitled Mom would send Entitled Kid to Bean's house often without confirming it to be okay with his mom first. He would be there until 9 or 10 p.m. every time he was over, well past the bedtime for a first grader. His mom would have to call Entitled Mom just to come get her kid. They lived down the street and she was actually home all day, so they were just using the mom as a free babysitter so she wouldn't have to deal with him. So Bean and the kid would play and carry on like kids normally would, but the Entitled Kid was incredibly aggressive. Then when it came to school, he would make fun of Bean and act like he was the black sheep, and single him out and tell him he wasn't allowed to hang out with him, and still would proceed to play with him after school. Entitled Mom was no better on school grounds, as she and her posse would make fun of many kids when dropping off or picking up their own kids from school, calling some of them stupid and idiots. He remembers one said that one looked like a Mongol. The school didn't do anything to stop this, and none of the parents wanted to do anything about it, or were too scared to. One day, when dropping off Bean at school, the Entitled Mom and her posse decided today was the day to pick on him. According to the mom, they were calling him fat and stupid and said that the mom was a bad parent for it. His mom overheard this and said she had enough. She waited until almost all the kids were inside, but not before Bean had been confronted by Entitled Mom and said, "Listen here, you beesh. I'm gonna punch you, and I'm gonna punch you hard." So this is Bean's newfie mother, one of the nicest people I've ever met, who has gone full mama bear rage mode and, as she said she would, punched Entitled Mom in the face. They both proceeded to fight on the ground in bare-knuckle brawl, complete with scratching, biting, hair pulling, all the moves you would see on ESPN or your local playground. The principal eventually came out, broke it up, and the police were called. The mom and entitled mom were escorted off school property and told to go home. Later that night, the cops showed up at Bean and his mom's home. They asked questions about what had happened, and, of course, Mom told them all about how they were harassing all the kids on the school property, and since school wasn't doing anything, she decided to defend her child. The cops left without arresting her, but in the next couple days, she had a summons to court because entitled Mom decided to press charges. His mom never bothered going, as she knew she was in the right, and, surprisingly, never had to pay any charges. Parents who saw and heard about what happened congratulated her and said that they were glad someone finally stood up to entitled Mom. However, the mom and entitled mom did not go unscathed from the incident. Both of them were banned from being on school property for the rest of the school year. Kinda sad. Bean had to play and she had to stand in the back of the field to watch. Oh yeah, and also entitled kids stopped coming over, if you can believe it. I didn't know you could just not show up to court and things would just go away. But I've never really been involved in any kind of court case before, so I guess I don't know much about it. So this one's from Choosing Beggars called Pick Up Only, I Cannot Deliver. So this happened about 4 years ago, but telling the story last night I thought of this sub. I was going to buy a rabbit or two, so I got a massive 2-level hutch with outdoor area, etc. It came in a flat pack box and came with extras like feed bowls, water bowls, and salt licks that the seller gave me for free. Anyway, after 6 months of not buying any rabbits, I decided to sell a hutch and recoup some of the money I had spent. I listed it on Gumtree as new, unopened, and a listing price of 25% less than what I paid. And in capital letters, I say, Pick up only, I cannot deliver. After a dozen people contacting me, wanting to give me 10% of my asking, or just asking if it's still available, one lady messaged me and said she will buy it now if I drop my price another $50. I say, done, come over, bring cash, I'll load it in your car. She lived next suburb, 5-minute drive away, perfect. She says, can you deliver it please? I say, sorry, I can't deliver, it's pick up only. She says, are you sure you can't deliver it? I'll give you petrol money. I say, sorry, I'm unable to deliver it. I wrote that it was pickup only in the ad very clearly. She says, but I want to buy it. I said I'll buy it. I want you to deliver it. Why can't you just deliver it? I had the craps by this point, wheeled my motorbike outside, dragged the big box outside next to it, and took a photo. I sent it to her and said, if you can tell me how I can pull this on a bike, I'll deliver it to you. I got a terse reply that she will come over shortly to pick it up. The lady turned up in a full-size station wagon. I asked if she had to borrow the car. She says, no, I just didn't want to come pick it up. Oh, does all the stuff come with it? I was like, no, it doesn't. I wasn't giving her all that crap after what she had said. She asked me to load it onto her car, so I asked for payment first. She says, oh, I'm $50 short. That's okay, isn't it? I said, yeah, that's fine. Leave a deposit and I'll hold it for you while you go into town and get the rest, which is a 20-minute return trip. She managed to find $50 on the floor of her car. After loading it in her car, she had the hide to say to me, I don't see why you couldn't deliver it. I say, lady, do you friggin' see a car here? I don't own one, that's why it's pickup only. She huffed at me and walked off to drive away. Good riddance. Man, this lady's trying every trick in the book of being a cheapskate. Selling stuff online in local areas, kind of a pain sometimes. And on to the big finale from Entitled People called, Lady tried to kidnap my cat and called police on me claiming I was going to eat my cat because I was Asian? So a bit of background info. My previous cat was one of those light-colored cats that can't take sun very well since prolonged exposure will give her melanoma. Her name is Coconut, but we call her Coco. Man, I love her so much. That being said, she loves to go outside, so me and the vets decide she can have about 1 to 1.5 hours of sunlight a day, preferably when it's not too sunny, so around 7 or 8 a.m. So I take Coco out for her sunlight time. We have a front yard with no fence since we live in a no-through street, so me and Coco lies on the grass. She was rolling around and purring, and generally being the absolute cutie that she is. We were having a good time. Then enter the lady. Now, lady was unremarkable at best. My suburb was almost pure Greek, and she looked no different from the average Greek woman I see every day. Dirty blonde hair, orange unblended foundation, wrinkles, bright hot pink lipstick that probably only idols can pull off, and looks like absolute crap on her. The goods. She was probably taking a morning walk or something when she came across our yard and stops dead in her tracks, staring. Our street is quite small, and my family is acquainted with the people on it. I have never seen her in my life. She says, oh my gosh! I thought, because she had earphones in, that she was on a call and her friend probably spilt some serious stuff, so I ignore it. She says, you, get away from that cat, now! She hurriedly ran into our yard, scooped Coco up and started walking away. I freaked out. Coco and I have been together literally since we were born. We have the same birthday. And I love her so much that I can never take more than a 2-day holiday without her, unless I can bring her along. I was pissed off and scared since Coco has behavioral issues as well. Coco hates strangers, to put it as lightly as possible. She yelled and scratched the F out of the lady to try and get out. No such luck. I came up and was this close to slapping her, but instead pried her arms open, which at the time was pretty loose since she was being scratched and wincing, and got Coco into my arms. I kissed her head and rocked her and murmured soft cooing into her fur to calm her down. The lady shrieked, "I knew it! You're going to eat it! I freaking knew it!" and tried to punch me. So in a panic I did what most people would do, I presume, and kicked my knee right up into her crotch. Through her tears and blinding rage in my head, this is what I remember happening. I say, "What the F? Did you just friggin' tell me I was going to eat my cat?" She says, "Well, what else are you gonna do? Fry it? Grill it?" I say, "She's my friggin' pet. Do you grill or fry or eat your pets? Huh, you psychotic piece of crap? Did you just call me a— No friggin' crap, I did. Now get out." She says, "No. All you ching-chongs are the same. You all eat your cats with your nasty chopsticks, and I'm going to save this cat. This cat—" Did you just... Did I just what? Holy crap, you just said I was going to eat my cat because I was Asian. She says, "That's all you friggin' Asians eat. Cats and dogs and nasty crap. You were sniffing the cat and taking a bite out of it." I say, "No, you dummy. I was calming her down because she freaked out when you tried to kidnap her." She says, "Do not speak to your elders like this." I was 14 then. I say, "Yeah, because my elders are respectable friggin' people who don't kidnap pets because of racist assumptions." She says, "I'm not racist. Fine, if you're not going to give me your cat right now and walk out peacefully, I'm calling the police." I say, "Do try." So as she was on her phone screaming, I let my cat inside. Baby was visibly upset, so I kissed her head and said, "It's okay, baby. I'll beat this lady up for you." Not gonna lie, I'm a very confrontational person and loves to slap bullcrap so hard its teeth fall out. So once I calmed down a little bit and made sure my cat was safe, I locked the door and went out. The lady was fuming and glared at me like I was Satan incarnated. She says, "You'll see." I say, "I'll see, alright." Soon enough, the police pulled up. Says, "Ma'am, what seems to be the problem here?" "This cult-worshipping scum of a kid physically assaulted me and was eating her cat." Says, "Miss, I don't think—" "Arrest her now!" I say, Sir, she tried to kidnap my cat. You can see her scratch marks on her. She also tried to punch me. If you need me to prove her claim wrong, I have Coco and mine's baby photos. I've been with her forever, and if I decided she looks like a juicy porterhouse steak, I would have done it a long time ago." The police says, "How old are you?" I say, 14. Says, "Huh, well, ma'am, why are you saying this?" "I saw her sniffing the cat." I say, "I was kissing her, for reassurance, because my cat has behavioral issues." "If I didn't stop you, you would have bit it." The police says, "And why would she do that?" At this point, it's obvious that police isn't taking the lady seriously anymore. "Because she's a frigging Asian. What else more proof do you need?" So, "Excuse me?" "I said she's a frigging dirty, ratchet, Chinese, cat-eating piece of crap." Now, 1, I'm Viet, and 2, she looks way more ratchet than I do, and I live in one of the most respected suburbs in the state. Police says, "Miss, she did absolutely nothing. She's a kid. If you want to be sure she doesn't eat her cat..." And to me, "Can you get your cat out?" I say, "Sure." I picked Coco up and came outside. Coco is particularly affectionate when there are strangers around. So right on cue, she was nuzzling and purring and everything. The lady clamped up. The police says, "Alright, well that settles it. Now you, ma'am, you're coming with me." She says, "What? Why?" Says, "This is harassment, so I'll have to file a report at least. If she doesn't want to press charges, we're going to the station." My parents thankfully arrived home from the grocery shopping. The police explained everything, low-key threatened the lady, and they rode off to the police station happily ever after. I got quite the amount of crap from my parents for kneeing her and whatnot, but honestly, to keep my baby safe, I'll do anything. Coco is living with my grandparents since she's getting old, and my grandpa handed over a baby girl named Scarlett as my new assignment. Aw, what a happy ending. Man, I've said it before, but like, how do these entitled people or whatever get this far in their life being so mentally deranged? You just have to wonder, what was their whole life leading up to this point like? Because judging by their current behavior, like, how does anyone get to this point? Anyways, that does it for today's stories, so I hope you guys enjoyed. Continue to let me know if there's any more types of stories you want me to include, because I like having a bit of a mixture. So, thanks to everybody for watching.